Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at how to convert between units, and this is our first lesson on this. So we're just going to be doing single step conversions between our different metric units. So if we look at our first one here, we're going from centimeters to millimeters. And if we look up at our diagram, when we're going from centimeters to millimeters, because we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, what we are going to do is multiply. When we go from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we divide instead. Right, so let's do our first one for A. So we're converting 6 centimeters to millimeters. Now there is 10 millimeters in every centimeter. So to go from centimeters to millimeters, we're going to times what we've got by 10. So it will be 6 times 10, which is just going to be 60 millimeters. Alright, if we look at B, we're going from centimeters to meters. Now because we're going from a small unit to a larger unit, what we need to do is we need to divide. And we're going to divide by 100 because there are 100 centimeters in every single meter. So we're going to do 48.9 divided by 100. And if you remember our lessons from dealing with decimal points and powers of 10, we know that dividing by 100 is the same as moving the decimal place twice to the left. So the result is going to be 0.489. Now again, if we want to check that, we want to undo what we've done, we can multiply 100 by moving it 2 places to the right, and we'll end up with 48.9, which is what we previously had. Now before we go any further, we do need to specify that this is now in meters. Alright, if we look at C, we are going from millimeters to centimeters. Now we've started out with 60 millimeters, and to go from millimeters to centimeters, we need to divide by 10. So let's divide 60 by 10 and we'll get 6 centimeters. For D, we have 21,400 meters. We don't write them M, and what we need to do is convert it from meters to kilometers. And to go from meters to kilometers, we have to follow this arrow here, which says to divide by 1,000, because there's 1,000 meters in every single kilometer. So let's divide this by 1,000. Now we can do this by shifting the decimal place 3 places, and because there isn't a decimal place, we kind of imagine that there's one here, and then we move it once, twice, and 3 times, so we should get 21.4 kilometers. Alright, let's look at E. We have 2.8 meters and we're converting it to centimeters. If we're going from meters to centimeters, we follow this arrow here, which says we need to multiply by 100. So we do 2.8 multiplied by 100, which is just going to be the same as moving that decimal place 2 spaces to the right. So if we move it once, we have 28, and move it twice, what we actually have is 280. Alright, so it'll be 280 centimeters. Now if we look at F, we have 6.75 kilometers, and we're going to make this into meters. And if we go from kilometers to meters, we need to follow this arrow, times it by 1,000. So you do 6.75 multiplied by 1,000. Okay, now if we're multiplying by 1,000, we need to move the decimal place 3 spaces to the right. So if we do 675 and then add a 0, we've gone once, twice, 3 times over here. So that would be 6,750 meters. Alright, here's a few for you to practice, so give the video a pause, give them a go, and then I will solve them. Okay, let's get started. So for our first one, we have A, and that is going to be 1,200 centimeters to meters. So when we're going from centimeters to meters, we need to divide by 100. So we will do 1,200 divided by 100. And that just means we move the decimal place 2 spaces to the left, and we're left with 12 meters. Alright, we're going from centimeters to millimeters, which means we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, which means we need to multiply. So for this one, we will do 10.5 multiplied by 10, which is just going to be 105 millimeters. For C, we are going from meters to kilometers. Now we're going from a smaller unit to a larger one, so we're going to divide by 1,000. So we do 3,600 divided by 1,000. And that is going to be equal to 3.6 kilometers. Alright, for D, we're going from millimeters to centimeters, so small to large again. We need to first divide by 10. So 135.2 divided by 10. Dividing by 10 just means shifting the decimal place 1 space to the left, and what you'll be left with is 13.52 centimeters. For E, we have kilometers to meters. That means we're going from large to small, so we're going to multiply it by 1,000. So we do 9.2 multiplied by 1,000. Okay, so that's going to be equal to 9,200 meters. And for F, we're going from meters to centimeters, so what we need to do is again multiply 5.6 times 100, and that just equals 560 centimeters. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.